The Bible Code, the idea that secret messages and prophecies are hidden in the Bible, has received much attention. There are over 45,000 news articles written on the subject. Google returns over 16 million web pages. It has its own Wikipedia page, and a number of books have been written on the subject. Clearly, it must be real, right? Why else would they write a sequel? Who cares that scientists, mathematicians, and statisticians dismiss the Bible Code as worthless, a statistical artifact, a probability illusion? They're obviously blinded to the truth by all their numbers and equations. So I decided to see what hidden wisdom I could glean from the Bible. And here's what I found. Now, if you're looking for predictions of the future, I'm sorry to tell you, but the words world end tomorrow appear 2 times in the Bible. If you're curious how the world will end, look no further than the Bible Code. The words fire, death, star appear next to world end tomorrow. Curious how the supposedly fictitious Death Star will destroy the Earth? Well, the words Darth Vader real appear 22 times. So after you finish watching this video, go off and enjoy your last day on Earth. If by chance the world is still here tomorrow, come back and leave a comment. If you feel Barack Obama should not be president, you're not alone. There are 34 places in the Bible where the words Obama lost race appear, and there are 252 places where the words John Cain won race appear. What about history? There's one location where South won Civil War appears, but surprisingly none where North won Civil War appears. And if that isn't enough, there's also a passage where Nazis won World War appears. I guess it's time to rewrite those history books. Recently, there has been some controversy over Sherry Shepherd's comments on the TV show The View, implying the world might be flat. Well, what does the Bible Code have to say about it? There are 15 locations where the words Earth flat square appear, but only 2 where Earth solid sphere appear. So I guess we go with majority rule on this one. Now I know most of you think the sky is blue, but not so fast. There are 368 locations where sky not blue appears, and 2 where sky orange green appear. Don't look up, it's clearly a test of your faith. Remember back in school when you learned about the water cycle? Throw that out. There are 28 locations where the words rain is God crying show up. And remember learning that the Earth is the 3rd planet from the Sun? The Bible Code knows better. Earth, 2nd planet from Sun, shows up once, so move over Venus. What about those childhood stories that the moon is made of cheese? Think that's nonsense? Think again. Not only is it made of cheese, but Swiss cheese at that, as the words moon-made Swiss cheese show up in 3 places. And have you ever heard a parent tell their child that the crescent moon is really God's fingernail? Well, it's true. Moon God's fingernail show up 8 times. So does this mean God's fingernails are made of Swiss cheese? And what about earthquakes? Ever wonder where they come from? No, it's not plate tectonics. The Bible Code tells us that the earth is made of jello 8 times. They're not quakes, just jiggles. A few years back, the movie Jesus Camp was released. In it, there was a woman screaming that Harry Potter is the devil. Most people dismissed her as a lunatic, but it turns out the words Harry Potter real show up once. Want to know what else are real? Well, according to the Bible Code, dragons and fairies are, as the words dragon, fairy, real show up once. Now, just to settle a long-standing issue regarding 2 characters on the popular children's show Sesame Street, Bert and Ernie are real, and they're not gay. Don't believe me? The words Bert, Ernie are real, not gay, show up in 644 locations. The Loch Ness Monster? Don't worry, I wouldn't forget this one. Yup, it's real too. The words Loch Ness Monster real show up in 6 locations. So I guess those admittedly faked photos weren't faked after all. Finally, we have a head-to-head battle between 2 figures vying for the same holiday, Jesus and Santa. And while there are 738 locations where the words Jesus real show up in the Bible, there are 762 where Santa real shows up. I'll leave you to decide what that means. Now, in the United States, there has been a decades-old battle for gay rights. People have argued that homosexuality is wrong because of what it says in the book of Leviticus. Or maybe it's because they're bigots. Well, that's only one entry. According to the Bible code, there are 119 locations where the words gay love, God chosen appear, and only 2 where straight love, God chosen appear. So it would seem God prefers gays over straights. What does the Bible code have to say about evolution? Well, the words evolution lie never appear in the Bible, but gravity lie appears 3 times, and religion lie appears 6 times. Creationists have often argued there are certain features on organisms that could not have evolved and therefore disprove evolution. One classic example is the eye. Now, ignoring the fact that even Darwin was able to show how the eye evolved over 150 years ago, the words "the eye did evolve" appear 4 times in the Bible. There has been a long battle over which methodology is better, science or religion. Clearly, we shouldn't look at the progress science has given us. DNA screening, treatments for cancer, cell phones, the internet. No, we should ask the Bible code. Well, the words science, real wisdom appear once. So I guess that settles that. And what about the major creationists themselves? Kirk Cameron, known for his video series The Way of the Master, is apparently an idiot. Michael Behe, the molecular biologist, who advocates intelligent design but is yet to publish a single shred of evidence supporting his view, also an idiot. Remember that guy who tried to argue that bananas are proof of God's existence? Yep, he's an idiot too. And what about that guy who tried to argue that jars of peanut butter somehow prove that life cannot form naturally? You guessed it, also an idiot. Finally, Ken Ham, the head of the Creation Museum and a member of Answers in Genesis, according to the Bible code, is an idiot 351 times. Who am I to argue with something as powerful as the Bible code? And last November, many of us had a sneaking suspicion that Sarah Palin wasn't the brightest bulb in the room. Yes, she too is an idiot. Well, according to the Bible code at least. So what about the proponents of evolution? Well, the words Ken Miller truth show up 6 times, and Darwin truth shows up once. What about the age-old question, does God exist? Unfortunately for you believers out there, the words God does not exist show up 8 times. And for you Bible literalists, the words Bible evil lie also show up 8 times. Finally, what does the Bible code have to say about the Bible code? Well, I'm glad you asked. The words Bible code, bad, lie, untrue, and fake all show up together once. But how can this be? The people who argue for the Bible code seem so convincing, and the odds of these words all showing up together clearly must be extremely small, right? Wrong. And here's why. The odds of winning a lottery are 1 in a million, and you only get 1 chance to play. Your odds of winning are 1 in a million. But if you get to play 100 times, your odds of winning rise to 1 in 10,000. If you get to play 1 million times, your odds of winning become 63%. And if you get to play 10 million times, you're almost guaranteed to win with a 99.995% chance. So even if something appears to have a low probability of occurring, the more chances you give it, the more likely you are to find it. The same goes for the Bible code. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of word combinations that can be used to represent any idea, and those words can be found forwards, backwards, or at any spacing, anywhere in a book that is hundreds of pages long. Therefore, the Bible code pretty much guarantees you'll find anything in it. So why do so many people still believe the Bible code? Well, ignorant people believe anything. Clearly, they don't know how to